All right, bull runners, this is absolutely massive. If you hold crypto and you saw what happened with Donald Trump's meme coin, you saw what happened with Melania's meme coin being down over 70% over the past day or two, causing massive issues for the Solana blockchain because of over 3 million transactions trying to buy both of their meme coins. A lot of people are wondering if this was a stress test to see what's the better blockchain, Solana or the XRP ledger. Well, this just in, Donald Trump has appointed Commissioner Mark Ueda as the acting chair of the SEC, and you have to hear what he has to say in this video about crypto. Also, the SEC is announcing the formation of a new crypto task force, and in this video, you're going to discover exactly what that means, what Donald Trump has planned, also what Bank of America has planned specifically for XRP, the CEO of Bank of America, what he had to say about blockchain technology and transactions, and also some secret patents that Bank of America has and what it has to do with Ripple's distributed ledger technology using XRP, and some massive bills that are being introduced that will give the state the authority to invest in digital assets, massive ETFs being filed with the SEC. We're discussing the entire altcoin market and some expectations going into the next few months and when the top is most likely to be in and when I will be selling the majority of my crypto. Also, what phase we're at in XRP's rise to dominance. Because with Donald Trump getting into office, it is all systems go for crypto. And we are going to see some of the craziest news come out over the next few days, few weeks, and few months. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Comment 777 if you're feeling bullish, if you're feeling blessed, and let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So over the past 24 to 48 hours, the biggest hype right now is around Trump's meme coin. Melania's meme coin, not so much, with it down 70%. Trump's meme coin is holding up pretty well. So, I don't have too much negative to say about this. The main thing that we need to watch is obviously this downtrend that we're in right now. And we need to clear this descending resistance right here. And also we need to clear the $55 support. Now, I'm not going to do too much technical analysis on this because meme coins are so unpredictable. And just as quickly as this thing rose, now we're seeing massive profit taking. It's currently down 44%. So I talked about this all the way back here. I was expecting this project to rally up higher. Depending on how high it goes, then we see a massive correction coming. So if we see, big word here, if, not when, if we see the Trump token break out and start to make new highs, then inevitably that would just lead to a much bigger correction down the road if this project recovers. So unless Trump starts tweeting about it again and starts promoting it, what I would expect is this thing just to slowly bleed out and then eventually die off until he starts promoting it again to see a revival. Otherwise, people that are buying into this thing right now just expect to lose a lot of money because Trump, he's a serial entrepreneur. When he got into crypto and he started launching NFTs, he launched so many of those things. And he never just focused on one because as the president of the United States, he has so much going on. I don't know how he has the energy to do everything that he does. So massive respect for that. He is a workhorse. It is absolutely insane. And there's much more important things at hand that we need to discuss than if he's going to post about his meme coin again and start talking about it, because who cares? There's more important things here that you need to know. And the most important here is the new commissioner of the SEC, the acting chair. Listen to what he just said.
Commissioner, Trump wants to make America the world's crypto capital. How will the next SEC chair make it happen?
One of the things that President Trump is absolutely right is the current administration's war on crypto needs to stop. There are a number of things that we can do with respect to crypto to help make America one of the global leaders in crypto. First off, from a regulatory perspective, we can provide the appropriate clarity. Some crypto is not even a security at all, but we need to make clear whether or not you fall within SEC jurisdiction or not. If you do, we need, again, a set of rules so those players in this space know what to do, whether it's making an offering, if you're a broker dealer, how you handle those sorts of transactions, how you custody and safeguard those, what it means for asset managers. One of the other very important things we can do is create safe harbors and regulatory sandboxes to allow that innovation to occur. And finally, we need to work with the Congress, the White House, and other federal regulatory agencies to make sure we have a cohesive and comprehensive approach to crypto.
Well, you seem to have a pretty firm grasp of where you want to take the SEC. Gensler stepped down on January the 20th when Trump comes in. Would you want the job? Would you take it?
Well, that's a decision for the president to make. What I can tell you is that whoever steps in that job, there is a lot of work that needs to be done to address some of the regulatory excesses, not only at the SEC, but at other administrative agencies. There are a lot of new rules and regulations that were rolled out. There are a lot of unintended consequences, many of which will need to be addressed.
You sound like you're auditioning for the job because you're coming out with all the things that Trump wants to see, right? Are you auditioning? Are you throwing your hat in the ring?
Well, I'm just going back to my experience in the last transition we had with President Trump. I was fortunate to be on our executive staff as a senior advisor to acting Chairman Michael Pivovar, who was named by President Trump to take over the agency after the Obama administration. And there are so many things, like the situation was back then, that need to be addressed. Back then, it was many of the regulatory overreaches that resulted from implementation of the Dodd-Frank Act.
Mark, I think your hat is firmly in the ring.
So the SEC's reign of terror will end, and breaking news just hit with the SEC launching a new crypto task force to develop a framework for digital assets. The SEC's new task force is going to focus on a comprehensive and clear regulatory framework for crypto assets, and Commissioner Hester Pierce will lead the agency's wide efforts. So this is extremely bullish. This document says, to date, the SEC has relied primarily on enforcement actions to regulate crypto retroactively and reactively, often adopting novel and untested legal interpretations along the way. So they're admitting their faults there, which is incredible. They're not just saying that they're protecting the American public. They're saying clarity regarding who must register and practical solutions for those seeking to register have been elusive. The result have been confusion about what is legal, which creates an environment hostile to innovation and conducive to fraud. The SEC can do better. So it's about damn time they realized how many people hated Gary Gensler. So do you think anybody on this task force wants to be associated with Gary Gensler's policies? Of course not. Their name would be on the chopping block next in front of Congress. So we're going to see the crypto world get shaken up in a big way, in a great way. So Brad Garlinghouse and JD Vance can be seen right here shaking hands during Trump's event. So what does this indicate to you about the future of Ripple and XRP? If he's going out of his way to come over here to shake hands with those guys, you're only going to go out of your way and shake the hands of people that you recognize and that you've talked with and you've met with before. And with Brad Garlinghouse attending the crypto ball, to the VP dinner, to sitting in the Capitol yesterday, we're just going to see big moves out of Ripple as a company in Trump's administration. For example, you guys saw this a few days ago with Trump picking Caroline Pham to serve as the acting CFTC chair. And when regulation is clear, banks are going to dive full-fledged in. And so we're seeing banks like Bank of America saying that the U.S. banking industry will embrace cryptocurrencies for payments if regulators allow it. So I don't think it's a matter of if anymore. It's just when and how long will it take for them to sign these bills into law. The head of the second largest U.S. bank by assets was asked by CNBC about how the industry's approach to crypto could change given Donald Trump's enthusiasm for digital currencies. And he said if the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with, you'll find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it. Now, what exactly does that mean, and how does XRP play a role in that? Well, let's listen to the full statement from the Bank of America's CEO and what he had to say.
There's still 4,000 banks, so it's not like there's considering the disaggregation industry.
Let me ask you a separate question, and Becky's got one back in Washington, but on crypto. We just had Brian Armstrong sitting in the seat that you were in, and obviously there's a lot of excitement about crypto. The banking business, for the most part, has stayed away from crypto. Given President Trump's full-throated support for crypto, do you imagine Bank of America is going to be full on in the crypto business if we have this conversation 12 months, 24 months from now?
I'd separate out this sort of crypto versus stable assets and digital movement of money, because we already move the vast majority of our money digitally. Our consumers do, our companies do. And so the question is, what's the business practice that you have to move another type of currency? So if the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with, you will find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it, non-anonymous, transactional, verified, et cetera, because we have to, because it's just another way our customers are going to
The
order
other thing we
money.
were talking about was the possibility that Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies actually are a threat to the U.S. dollar. Scott Bessent's talked about needing the U.S. dollar to be super powerful.
Yeah.
Is it a threat?
I think there's a whole bunch of dynamics about all the trade and all the consumption of the U.S. consumer and all the stuff that goes on. But I think we do need a strong U.S. dollar. We need a U.S. dollar to be reserve currency. It's good for our country. But what I'm saying is, if you go down the street here and you go in and buy lunch,
right.
If you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, a debit card, Apple Pay, et cetera, this will just be another form of payment in an instantaneous cash transfer. And so I think if it becomes regulatory okay, which it wasn't before, and that's one of the issues, you'll see the banking system enter with, we have hundreds of patents on blockchain already. We know how to enter the field. We have hundreds of patents on blockchain already. When you get to the investment side and the Bitcoin stuff, that's really a separate question. That's more on the investment side. From the transactional side, I think you'll see the banking industry make moves.
So from the investment side, that's when they're going to create strategic reserves, not just for Bitcoin, but holding other crypto assets. That's why we saw World Libertyfi buy Ethereum. And I would expect them to purchase XRP, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, other crypto assets down the road. Now, from the transactional side, this is where XRP comes into play. So listen to this clip right here about what Bank of America is doing.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them, and basically the Ripple is going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it, and there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
now, I know a lot of people in the comments are going to say the coin is XRP. It's not Ripple. Ripple's the company. XRP is the coin. So let's get that straight. But in terms of the patent, here's a patent right here that was filed all the way back, it looks like in 2018, by who? Bank of America Corporation. And let's go to this and let's talk about it. What were they working on in this patent, and why is this important from a transactional side of things? Okay, so when we go through this, it talks about a centralized database. It shows these different figures right here, like figure 2 is distributed ledger between these different computers, it looks like. This figure talks about miner node, monitor node, channel node. We don't see really anything too crazy until we get to these last 3 documents right here that talks about the relationship between the US dollar, key transfers like book transfer, FX trade, notifications, settlement, and the challenges that are faced by pre-funding accounts. I would assume they're talking about Nostro and Vostro accounts right there. But the last document right here, it shows Ripple's distributed ledger technology and Ripple interledger protocol right here with Ripple's logo on the coin, introducing real-time net settlement, flexible and innovative methodology for distributed ledger digital wallets and traditional partner banks. So then it talks about the benefits here of an option to eliminate the need for physical account at partner institutions, real-time advising of payment to beneficiary. Technology performs real-time monitoring and analysis of the distributed ledger to provide adjusted net settlement instructions throughout the day over traditional clearings. Opportunity for alternative implementation of the GL use case by introducing a distributed ledger account. So why would they put Ripple, ILP, interledger protocol, and Ripple, distributed ledger technology on a patent here if they weren't planning on using it? Why would they patent it? The only time you're going to patent something is when you're serious about using it. Otherwise, you just test it yourself, but you don't create a patent for it. Well, look at this. Ripple's distributed ledger technology, primarily known as the XRP ledger, operates by using a unique consensus mechanism called the Ripple Protocol Consensus Algorithm. So I'm not going to get too much into detail about this because the most important thing to focus on is this. The XRP ledger is the distributed ledger technology that records and verifies transactions. And so they support XRP as the main currency on the ledger as its medium of exchange, but it says it's not required to use the network. So in videos a few years ago, we talked about this, and this caused a lot of controversy because people are like, well, if it's not required to use the network, then why would they ever need XRP? Ripple structured their business to where they didn't turn away banks that were skeptical in the start, because these banks, if it's required XRP, they're like, oh, we're a little skeptical about cryptocurrencies. We're going to go elsewhere and do business with another company. And so what Ripple was missing at that time for these banks to believe in XRP was regulatory clarity about cryptocurrencies. And now that they're getting getting that with Trump. What do you guys think these banks are going to do with crypto when they see Trump buying crypto? What cryptocurrency do you think they're going to buy? They're going to buy the one of the company that they're in partnership using the distributed ledger technology for. That's just my opinion, because if you are, here's an example that I can give you. If you are a savvy businessman and you own a horse, and a company says, hey, we can build these things called roads to get you between town to town faster, so you don't have to go through these cactuses and all these bush trails that take you forever, and we could put these roads up for you, and you could take your horse across the road, or you can use our car instead of your horse on these roads and get there even quicker. What do you want to do? Well, initially, as a business owner, you might be skeptical about a car because you don't know if you're going to die in it, and it's so fast that it might spook you because you're so used to using the Swift system, aka your horse, to ride across this road. So you're like, I'll just use the horse across the road. And so you start riding the horse on the side of the road. You're like, oh, this is nice. You know, it's comfortable. I don't have to go up and down these hills and hurt my horse's back, and I can get there a lot quicker. Then all of a sudden you see a car zoom by you, and you're like, what was that thing? Holy cow. And the guy's laughing at you while he's driving. He's like, sucks to be last. I'm the first to use this. Well, what do you think the car is? That's XRP. So the banks that are first to use it and start using it, what's the benefit of it? Well, it's going to reduce costs for transactions. It's going to increase liquidity, so these companies and these banks don't need Nostro and Vostro accounts to hold the sending and the receiving currency and ties it up for days, and faster transactions, right? XRP is known for rapid transaction speed with an average confirmation time of just 3 to 5 seconds. And there's other considerations too that, you know, are well beyond my knowledge, obviously, because I'm not a developer, but I'm pointing this stuff out to you guys to realize that back in traditional business in the Industrial Revolution, there were so many companies that came out and completely revolutionized the space. And if Henry Ford asked people what they wanted, they would say faster horses, because they don't even know the solution to the problem that they have. They just deal with it, because when a horse poops on the side of the road, what are they going to do? They're just going to clean it up, and they're going to deal with the problem and say, that's just the way that it is. So if he asked them what they want, I think he actually did, they'd be like, yeah, if you can make my horse go faster, you got better food to feed him to speed him up so I can get places quicker, then I'll buy it. So Henry Ford had to think outside the box completely and create the assembly line. Ford was the first company to really dominate the assembly line. I think they invented the assembly line, and he was able to crank out cars like crazy. And so XRP will drastically speed up transactions. Now, it also can be used as a store of value like Bitcoin, because people can just buy it and hold it on centralized and decentralized exchanges. And just now, Utah introduced a bill that will give the state the authority to invest in digital assets. This bill opens a pathway for them to not only invest in Bitcoin, but other digital assets and other altcoins. And when we look right here, 33 crypto ETFs now currently are filed with the SEC, including Trump's meme coin. We got Dogecoin, we got XRP, we have Solana on here, we have Bonk as well too. And so which one will get approved next? We will see. But here's a friendly reminder that weeks after the inauguration have always been the most bullish time for Total 2, everything excluding Bitcoin. Always, 100% of the time. Now, sure, this time could be different and it doesn't happen. Maybe we go through the economic crash because of what the Federal Reserve has been doing with interest rates and the 10-year to 2-year yield curve that I discussed in previous videos, and I'll get into in future videos for when I expect the crash to happen. But the herd is still a little bearish right now. They still have PTSD from the last bear market. So do you really believe that everyone has to be bullish for it to become even more bullish? That's not how it works. Not everyone can win. Not everyone is going to be bullish. But those that understand what I'm going to talk about in the rest of this video will truly get the bigger picture. Now, real quick, if you guys haven't joined Altcoin Pro University, we have 1,200 members in here. And when you click the link in the description below this video and you watch this 26-minute video, it's going to explain how you can get access to over 100 plus expert curated classes, live weekly calls, daily market updates, altcoin picks, in-depth technical analysis from our research team, and you can network, chat, and connect with our global community of other like-minded investors around the world. And it's only $97 a month, pay as you go, no contract, no commitment. Guys, if you're not happy for whatever reason, or if you don't get any results, you can ask for a refund within your first 30 days. Worst case scenario, you learn something new. You go through the entire classroom, you watch all the videos, and it's not the right thing for you. That's completely fine. you can get a refund. Best case scenario is what we teach actually works for you and you become our next $1 million success story. So check that out. I know you're going to love it because 90% of the gains are made in the last 10% of the bull market. So we still have some time. And the reason why is because if we look at the charts here, and I'll get into TradingView with you guys in a second, but I thought this was a great post from El Crypto Prof talking about and posting up the RSI and showing reaccumulation of what happened back in 2016 or before we took off and exploded, and what the RSI was doing, going through this reaccumulation phase and then rallying over 80 and 90 on the monthly candles right here. Then when we saw the peak, we saw the RSI completely come back down. Along with the price chart, we saw a double bottom forming a higher low for COVID. And then we saw reaccumulation again around election time in 2020. After election, a few weeks, guess what happened to the RSI? It exploded back over 80 to 90 again. We saw a peak. And then we sell off again. The RSI comes back down for the bottom. Guess what? We had double bottoms, higher lows, and we went through a reaccumulation in 2024 for 6 months. Look what happened to the RSI. It didn't even breach above 75 or 80. This whole reaccumulation phase for the RSI is exactly what we went back through in 2020 and 2016 before we took off. So in my mind, it's not a matter of if we go up, it's a matter of how high and for how much longer before the crash happens. So in order to understand that, what we need to do is bring up the relative strength index on the monthly, and let's look at where we were at the peak of the market the last time and what we saw happen. And this is a stereotypical bearish divergence. And what that means is when we form a higher high on the price chart and we form a lower high on a key indicator like the relative strength index, that simply means momentum is shifting over from the bulls to the bears. So we saw that happen right here when the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin was at $76 billion back in August of 2017. The relative strength index was all the way up here at 99. You can't go higher than 100, so 99 is pretty much the highest that you can go. But then the market cap rallied all the way over $500 billion after that, and then the RSI printed in a lower high at 96. Bearish divergence. That was the peak. Look at what happened back here in April of 2021. The market peaked out shortly after that in May. The RSI peaked out up here at 93, and we formed a higher high by the 1st of November on the price chart, whereas we formed a lower high on the relative strength index on the monthly. The monthly candles are macro zoomed out candles. Every single one of these candles is a month, and then within the micro, we can get into the daily, the hour, or the minutes. But this is what I look for on the monthly. I would want to see the RSI upwards of 80 to up to 100, depending on how high we go. Now, if we draw a descending resistance from the 1st of July of 2017, connect it to the top of the 1st of April of 2021, that could potentially put the RSI at about 88. Now, if we go anywhere beyond that, it's awesome. It's a bonus. You know, I would just expect the RSI to peak much higher than where it is at right now. We're at 67, and look at where we're at in the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator. We have just transitioned from orange to yellow. Now, for those of you that are new on the channel that don't know what this indicator is, it tracks the days until Bitcoin's next halving. And we go through these phases right here in Bitcoin's market cycle, in the 4-year market cycle theory. So when we transition, to simplify this for you so you can understand what's about to happen next, when we transition from purple to orange, that's when Bitcoin goes through a halving. Now, if you look in the last cycle, what happened prior to Bitcoin's halving, when we transitioned to orange, we started breaking out of COVID's low and we saw this little consolidation right here. Then when we transitioned to yellow, we exploded. The cycle before then, orange was a consolidation, then going to yellow, we exploded after that. Just like this cycle, orange, consolidation right here, yellow, we just barely started the explosion right here. So I think we're going much higher. And what that will look like for the RSI is a peak anywhere between 80 to 100, depending on how high we go. And then we see another major correction happen, similar to what took place from yellow to light green, where we see a dip of anywhere between 30 to 60%, similar to what we saw all the way back here between the 1st of August of 2017 until the 1st of November. And then we see the peak for the market. So what will that look like? Well, based on the last few cycles, because history doesn't necessarily repeat exactly, but it does rhyme in terms of how these cycles play out. So like I just said, it's not a matter of if we go up, it's just how high and for how long. Well, if we see a correction from yellow to green, depending on how deep that correction is and when that takes place, will really determine if we form a higher high or a lower high for the light green phase before we transition to light blue to dark blue. And then what that could potentially look like on the relative strength index with that correction, that sell-off from yellow to light green, is the RSI pulling back, similar to what happened right here on the 1st of June, 2021. Look at the bottom of the screen right here. We saw the RSI pull back, similar to what happened right here on the 1st of October of 2017. We saw the relative strength index pull back. And then for the higher high on the actual price chart for light green for each bull run cycle, look at the relative strength index. It bounces up, forms a lower high, then falls off of the shelf. Bounces up, forms a lower high, falls off of the shelf. Bounces up, forms a lower high, falls off of a shelf, and then we go into a bear market. So I think it's just going to play out the same way. And retail investors, 99% of the herd that don't understand this, that aren't subscribed to the Bull Runners channel, are going to get absolutely wrecked up here. And this is when I'm going to be taking profit. Now, according to the XRP guy, we are now in phase 2 of the XRP's rise to dominance. So Ripple stablecoin RLUSD is released. Trump's inauguration just happened. Gary Gensler left office, just happened. Now the next thing to come, and the reason why I played those clips at the start of this video, is Ripple's lawsuit versus the SEC ending. This is going to come to an end, guys. And then alt season kicking off with what I just showed you on the chart, sending the RSI above 70 and inevitably potentially above 80. We'll see if that happens. Then Ripple naming big banking partnerships like Bank of America because of the patents that they've terminated or not, that they now have, that they're keeping a secret before they get posted on Google. Because you know, when you file a patent, it's not published out there everywhere. It's kind of a secret, and then it gets pushed out there to mainstream media. Then number 7, XRP ETF approval. With the ETFs that are being filed, well, Bitcoin's approved, Ethereum's approved. If you go on coinmarketcap.com, XRP is the second largest altcoin. It's inevitable that it'll get approved. And so, does it make sense to sell when we have all these bullish things coming up for the next few phases? I'll let you guys decide on that. Well, this just in, a new XRP ETF was filed from Rex Osprey. Why are these companies filing for ETFs if they didn't know what was coming? I mean, come on, this is easy to see. And so with XRP breaking out of the symmetrical triangle, we just see these bull flags take place where we see breakout, bull flag forming lower lows, lower highs, breakout, bull flag, breakout, bull flag. So XRP, I would just expect to range with here before the next major breakout. Then guess what? Another bull flag forms. And then we see a massive move after these consolidation phases take place, like we saw right here, like we saw all the way back here. And you just have to ride that ride and get ready. And you have to deal with the boring consolidation phases where we just chop between a range. And a range is a resistance and a support. And so while we go through this range before we break out and form a new range and a new resistance and a support, and then inevitably form a peak, depending on how high XRP goes, you don't want to be buying up at the peak. And so you want to buy when it's boring, when everyone's getting out, when everyone's selling. And that's not financial advice. These videos are purely for education and informational purposes only. So do with it what you will, but I do think XRP will go higher this bull run, because when we look at the crypto total market cap excluding the top 10, this is others, everything outside of the top 10, we're just in a giant cup and handle formation. So if we were to draw the depth of the cup from right here and we were to put it on a potential breakout point, let's say we break out all the way in February and we just chop through this bull flag right here where we're forming right now. As you guys can see, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, potentially another lower low, shakeout, and then we work our way out of the descending resistance, potentially hold it as support, then a breakout. The target would be upwards of $960 billion, potentially $1 trillion. And then also that is past the all-time high of $500 billion. So the fact that others are still below the all-time high, let's go back to the last bull run and just look at this massive breakout that took place when we passed the all-time high right here after election. Others exploded. We went from $75 billion upwards of $500 billion, nearly $500 billion. So where will we go? Well, that's just target number 1. Could we go to 2 billion, 3 billion? We'll see. But I think the next move for the altcoin market past the all-time high is going to be explosive. And then, like I just mentioned on Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, depending on how high we go from yellow to light green is when we see another massive sell-off take place and a consolidation. And then for light green, the blow off top, and then we see the bear market come in. And then we see complacency stage right here. Everyone thinks the market's going to recover and go higher from the complacency stage. But then we see everyone panic when support breaks, and then we see back tests like this, then we fall off of the shelf and something catastrophic happens, which I think would be the Federal Reserve breaking the economy with interest rates and what they've done, and them having to drastically cut rates in response again, print more money, and then we just go through the cycle again leading into 2030, similar to what we're going through right now, but then you're gonna have to wait to get the best dips again. So for those of you that did not buy, that did not listen to me making videos all through the bear market, well, heed this warning now. When the markets do go up and then all of a sudden you're coming to the channel, you're watching these videos all the way up here, I'm gonna be screaming from the top of my lungs to get out now. So what can you do in the meantime if you are a little bit late to the market? Well, you can benefit from these opportunities to make as much money as possible before the market does take off and breaks all-time highs for others, total 2, total 3. Listen to this.
Hey bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and MasterCard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business, or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or MasterCard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period. That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated 1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over 7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.
Now, we also have received a lot of messages from people asking about funding, whether it be asking me directly to invest in their business. And I get tons of those messages every single week. And some of them are great ideas, but I'm just overly allocated in crypto. So we do have a funding option for you guys to get funded for your venture, whether you want to scale a new or existing business, real estate portfolio, even crypto portfolio, or other passive income opportunities. Whatever you want to use this for, up to you. As low as 0% interest, no collateral required. And you can apply now through the link in the description below. Just put in how much funding you're looking to obtain. If you're a bigger business and you have a higher monthly income, you have a good credit score, put in as much as you want here, and it will not impact your credit score, and you'll get a response from the team in the next 24 hours. And you might even qualify for more than what you put in here. So that's why you want to make sure to jump on a call with the team member if you need funding to scale your portfolio. That's what Robert Kiyosaki does. So this is only for people that are comfortable taking on debt to make more money. Remember, if you don't have a lucrative opportunity or no idea what you're doing, that do not do this. This is just an opportunity for those of you out there that need more capital to grow your portfolio. Because the biggest blessing in disguise is consolidation periods when the markets do these pullbacks like this. Because if you are buying on the breakouts and you're waiting because you're just waiting for the altcoin market to make the next move, when it does make the next move and you start buying the breakouts, then all of a sudden we go through these consolidations, you get frustrated, you get bored, because I get it, looking at this chart, it looks like it's happening really fast. But look at this period right here, when we peaked out around March, where I just drew this yellow squiggly line here was 132 days, even to the bottom, 144 days. So that's 30, 60, 90, 120, 4 to 5 months of going down. This is where people get shaken out. They get shaken out down here, they sell their bags, and then the markets pump again, and they buy these rallies. Then the markets go through another consolidation period, and they sell the dips, and then the markets break out again, and they're left buying the peaks. So how do you stop this vicious cycle? You have to get control of your emotions. And you have to plug in with the right community that can spot the best opportunities before they explode. For example, Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree, if that's a goal of yours. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.